What is the best way to remove an old driver head? If you have an old driver head that you want to replace, you might be wondering how to remove it properly. The method you choose will depend on the type of shaft you have, whether it is steel or graphite. Let's break down the steps for each type to help you get that old head off safely and effectively. For steel shafts, the process begins with securing the club in a vise. This keeps it steady while you work. Next, you will need a heat source, such as a blowtorch or a heat gun. Apply heat evenly around the hosel, which is the part of the club head where the shaft inserts. Aim for about 30 seconds of heat application at a time. The heat will soften the epoxy that bonds the head to the shaft. Once the epoxy is softened, you can either twist or pull the head off. Make sure to wear an insulated glove or an oven mitt to protect your hands from the heat. If the head does not come off easily, reapply heat as needed until it loosens. This method is straightforward and effective for steel shafts. Now let's talk about graphite shafts. These requiring a bit more caution because graphite is more fragile. First, avoid twisting the shaft as this can cause damage. Instead, use a shaft puller tool designed specifically for this purpose. This tool will push the head off without twisting the shaft. As you apply heat to the hosel, protect the rest of the shaft and the ferrule, which is the small ring at the junction of the shaft and head. You can do this by wrapping a wet towel around those areas. If necessary, you may need to remove the ferrule. In some cases, if you do not plan to preserve the shaft, cutting it near the hosel and drilling out the remaining piece can be an option. When the epoxy softens, it is important to remove the head quickly to limit heat damage to the shaft. Remember to cover the ferrule with a wet paper towel during heating to prevent melting. Some modern drivers have threaded connections, which means you will need to unscrew the head counterclockwise, especially for right-handed clubs. Using heat evenly and cautiously is key to preventing damage to your club components. If you want to reuse the shaft or ferrule, take extra care during the removal process. Using the right tools and applying heat correctly will help you achieve a successful driver head replacement. With these steps, you can confidently tackle the task of removing an old driver head and prepare for your new one.